The E. Jean Carroll lawyer comes out against Trump once again. And also Trump gives Kash Patel not only the job of head of the FBI, but he gives him a second job. Welcome to the Doug ToNapel channel. This is where the Happy Patriots are, because we've got the latest news, most important news, and only the news. So first, I'm just going to give you this quick headline. This is over at ABC News. Trump expected to name Kash Patel as acting ATF director, says sources. That is the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms guy. Let me read you just one quick paragraph, then we'll go right over to the E. Jean Carroll lawyer. President Donald Trump is expected to name FBI Director Kash Patel as the acting head of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Sources familiar with the matter told ABC News. A Justice Department official told ABC News that Patel is expected to be sworn into the acting director position early next week. How can he have two jobs? The White House didn't respond to the request for comment. The move comes after Attorney General Pam Bondi fired the ATF's general counsel, Pamela Hicks, late last week. Bondi said in an interview with Fox News on Friday, it was because the agency's lead lawyer was, quote, targeting gun owners, unquote. So this is good for the Second Amendment. We'll go with that. Here's Politico, which is a lying rag, but still, you know, I have to give you that explanation for before I quote Politico. This is the E. Jean Carroll lawyer. This lawyer went 2-0 against Trump, sort of. Now she's suing him again over New York City tolls. Roberta Kaplan, the lawyer who won abuse and defamation lawsuits for the writer E. Jean Carroll, sort of, also representing the transit agency fighting to keep congestion pricing. New York's fight to save a Manhattan toll plan sets up a court battle between the Trump administration and one of the president's major legal foes, Roberta Kaplan. Perhaps no attorney bedeviled President Donald Trump in his many legal cases more than Kaplan. That is false. She didn't bedevil him. He got a liberal judge and a liberal jury who was previously best known for winning the Supreme Court case forcing the federal government to recognize same-sex marriage. Gee, thank you, Miss Kaplan. You're going to get reversed also by Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas any day. Kaplan represents E. Jean Carroll, who won a multi-million-dollar civil judgments from a pair of juries after they found him liable for abusing and defaming her. Trump continues to assert his innocence and contest the awards, and he's going to win those, I believe, at some point. Kaplan's also counsel for the New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority. What a criminal union-protecting goon squad that is. In its bid to save congestion pricing from Trump's attempt to kill it. Now remember, it's always the opposite of whatever they say it is. So it's to save congestion pricing, it's to protect congestion. The MTA hired Kaplan long before Trump was reelected, and she helped the transit agency beat back a series of legal challenges to the tolls even before they took effect in January. They keep raising tolls so that normal people can't afford to move around in New York. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, a Democrat, has framed the legal fight with Trump in Revolutionary War terms. They're back to their violent rhetoric as usual, and compared the president to King George III, trying to impose his will on the American colonies. Okay. I like how they pretend to care about history for a second, even though they impose their will on the people more than any Republican does. Trump seemed to claim victory right away, posting on X an image of himself grinning and wearing a crown in front of the New York City skyline. But Kaplan is a tough adversary, whom one supporter called a, quote, generational powerhouse. And she's already beat Trump twice before with a liberal judge and a jury that primarily gave to Joe Biden. The 51-page MTA lawsuit was filed Wednesday by Kaplan's firm, Kaplan Martin, and the environmental law firm of Sieve, Paget, and Reisel shortly after Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who we like, he took the place of Pete Buttigieg, sent a letter aimed at revoking the key federal approval for tolling program, which has been decades in the making. The White House and Department DOT Department of Transportation did not respond to a request for comment, but on Wednesday, Trump said, quote, "Congestion pricing is not a good situation. They're treating the people of New York very, very badly," unquote. The sheer length of the brief shows the MTA had much of it ready to file. It has touches of legal tactics that became a hallmark of Kaplan's battles with Trump in the Carroll case, like throwing Trump's own words back at him. The cases are very different, though, I'll say, in large part because the Carroll lawsuits took aim at Trump as an individual and concerned his personal conduct. Kaplan's success in those cases stemmed significantly from her ability to elicit damning and unflattering admissions from Trump during a videotaped deposition that was played for jurors in both trials. No, that jury was not ever going to give Trump a fair case in E. Jean Carroll. He might get the same kind of jury here in New York. But I love how they pretend like all this lawfare in New York is fair, it's just neutral. Some Democrats and some Republicans on the jury? Never. Some Democrats, some Republican judges are picked from the pool? Never. All Democrat. During the deposition, Trump grew agitated at times, crossing his arms over his chest while Kaplan questioned him. When she asked about several other women who have accused him of assault, women Trump had characterized as not being his type, Trump told Kaplan herself that, "You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest." I remember that line. It was almost worth losing $83 million, Trump. He added, I wouldn't in any circumstances have any interest in you, unquote. Kaplan also deployed Trump's remarks against him in real time, a tactic the MTA is already adopting. During the second Carroll trial, for example, Kaplan and Carroll's other lawyers showed the jury social media messages Trump posted about Carroll while the trial took place, as well as clips from a press conference he held midway through the proceedings in which he referred to her, quote, made-up story, which my opinion is it was a made-up story because she couldn't even remember the story. Remember, during the lawsuit, she couldn't even remember what year it took place. Details of it changed. She claimed to be wearing a coat on a cover that didn't exist at the time, and they found the story, made-up story, on an episode of Law & Order, which Carroll said she was a fan of. The MTA's lawsuit quotes Trump's first inaugural address, quote, "We are transferring power from Washington, D.C. and giving it back to you, the American people," unquote. That's what they're going to use in a court case against Trump, that he wants the power to go back to the American people, like the commuters, to argue that the administration shouldn't be encroaching on state decisions like establishing the tolls, or that's King George-like. It also frames tolls as market-based user pay solutions. The user pay language is straight out of a recent Trump administration memo that would redo how the federal government funds transportation projects. The memo, in turn, echoed similar language from a conservative blueprint released by the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025. They're going to try and use that and pin it on Trump in a court case. Go, remember when you supported Project 2025, which Trump has never read, which suggests more user fees? Okay, this is a junk case. The Carroll cases were factual disputes, so they were decided by juries. Again, this is all just junk, imbecilic, terrible, anti-freedom. And I hope Trump wins this one, but we'll keep you posted on this toll road dispute between Hochul, Kaplan, who's E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, and whatever New York Biden Kamala supporting jury they put together. Or maybe they'll get a change of venue. What do you guys think? Should they get a change of venue on this court case? Yes or no in the chat below. I'm Doug in exile.